Hi again, this is Carol with Southern Charm Labradoodles. This section is the puppy care list. It is this sheet in your book. I will touch on a few things on this list. My assistant Jackie will elaborate further and actually show you supplies when we get to that section. You need to purchase feeding bowls, brushes, ear cleaner, shampoo, some chew toys, no rawhide. I will supply you with a stuffless toy, and I'll show you that when we get into the bag section. A crate, and Jackie will explain that further to you when we get there. Nature's Miracle, which is wonderful for those potty accidents that just happens naturally. I would recommend getting a chew stop preventative such as bitter apple, Mr. Yuck. There's a bunch of different flavors of nasty that you can get. And prior to your puppy coming home, if you have a child, they would probably, an old child that's old enough to do this, crawl around the floor, and anything that is eye level, they need to spray. Chair rungs, baseboards, the valances on sofas and chairs. The stuff does not smell. It does taste very bitter. It may get on your hands. Make sure you wash your hands afterwards. But this just gives the puppy one less no for you to tell the puppy. If the puppy puts its mouth on it, it'll go, "Ugh, that's awful, I don't want to chew it." If you're not there to divert it to chew on its toys that you have out there for them. Do not spray this stuff when any of the toys are around. Make sure the toys are up and away because sometimes it floats in the air. Leashes and collars. I will supply you with one leash and collar. Jackie can talk to you about retractables and growing collars and training collars when she gets on later. Dog food, I touched on that earlier. We do feed Taste of the Wild here. There are a lot of different other dog foods that are very good, and I can talk to you more about the different types of dog food when you come and pick up your puppy that you might find. PetSmart and Petco, I know supply Blue Buffalo. From is a good dog food. Fresh Pet Select is a good dog food you can find. It's a moist dog food you can find in the freezer section of your grocery store. It is kind of a modified raw food, but I'll go over that again when I see you or when we talk. On the back side of this paper, it talks about upset tummies. Again, I touched on that earlier about kaopectate and canned pumpkin and Pepto-Bismol. We talked about the vaccination protocol. Coat transition. This also goes into the grooming section, but your puppy's coat will change probably between 6 and 8 months and require grooming, and we'll go over that more in the grooming section. Jogging with your dog, running with your dog, exercising your dog are all very important things, but this is a puppy, it's not a child, and you have to understand, and not an adult dog, and you have to understand you're not going to be able to actual run if you're a runner with your dog until the dog is probably at least a year old. Stairs should be kept at a minimum. Obviously, stairs sometimes are a fact of life in houses, so make sure you put a gate or something on the stairs so the puppy doesn't, wander up and down the stairs freely, and also minimize the stair climbing. That can affect their hips later on. They can definitely go up and down stairs, but not 40 times a day, chasing children. Don't overfeed your puppy. Too much food. Most puppies don't overeat. They kind of train themselves. As they get older, they can tend to overeat. This next sheet is on puppy care and supplies. We talked about fleas and ticks. What it does is explains the different types of products, such as Advantage, Frontline, Revolution, Sentinel, and what it does for your dog. And it's self-explanatory. You can read it. It talks about heartworm preventative and the different types. There are some new all-inclusive products such as Trifexis now and Confortis, which are, one pill fixes all type of thing. Your veterinarian will discuss that with you. In some areas of the country, fleas and ticks, if fleas are not an issue, in other areas you don't have to do heartworm. So it varies. It depends on, which area of the country you're in and where the dog has been traveled to. In Georgia, fleas and ticks are a problem, and so is heartworm, so we do everything here. This sheet also talks about cleaning your dog's ears. That is part of the grooming segment, and trimming their claws. I will go into that a little more detail and we will do a live presentation of that with one of the dogs here. When you come, we will also touch on it, and I will, if you're able to come and visit me, I will actually have you pulling the ear hair out of one of my adult dogs so you don't get wiggy with it. Teeth cleaning, I do not brush my dog's teeth. That would be an all-day ordeal at my house, but I do supply my dogs with a lot of natural products such as elk antlers and Nylabones that they chew on, which takes care of tartar. It is good to have your dog's teeth cleaned maybe once they're 3 or 4 years old. If you feed a good dry food or not predominantly a soft food, that normally does help clean your dog's teeth. Exercising your dog, we already discussed that. Children playing with your dog, running and playing, the dog is in control of that. When the dog is tired, the dog will, want to crawl and go to sleep and tuck itself underneath a piece of furniture, and it just needs to rest. Puppies require a lot of sleep. About 80% of the day they will sleep. They'll be wide open 2 or 3 times a day, but after that they'll want to sleep, which is very important. If you're one of my families here in Georgia, there is an emergency care sheet here. These are veterinary emergency clinics in and around the Atlanta area. If you're not in Georgia, just disregard that.